As Father said, today we remember a doctor of the early church and a church father, St. John, who received his name Chrysostom, or golden mouth in Greek, after his death because of his great preaching ability. He is said to have memorized the entire Bible as he dedicated himself to his mission of evangelization and care for God's people with great courage and determination. He lived as a hermit for a while until he was ordained a deacon in the city of Antioch, where his eloquence for preaching and teaching the faith were cherished by all the people and all the clergy alike. He reluctantly accepted the position of Archbishop of Constantinople, which at the time had great influence over the entire Roman Empire. But he refused to be swayed by the prestige of his office as he spoke out courageously against those who abused their power for pride, ambition, and arrogance. St. John is a shining example of what St. Paul is telling us in his first reading, that whatever position we may achieve in life, we are still first and foremost entrusted with the obligation imposed on us by virtue of our baptism to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and do the good things we can and be good stewards of the gifts and talents that we have received from God. And woe to us if we do not tell others about Jesus. For how much preparation, effort, and sacrifices do we go through to achieve earthly things like money, degrees, promotions, or as St. Paul describes, to win an athletic competition? I know myself, growing up, I was involved in all kinds of sports, and I trained and practiced for hours a day. I suffered through injuries and setbacks, only to spend even more time and effort to be the best, to have others look up to me, to envy my success, and to fill my I Love Me wall with lots of perishable trophies and medals that today no one cares about, and I don't even know where they are anymore. I mean, think about what you personally have done in your life, which is the hardest goals that you've achieved in your life. How much time and effort you spent working for and stressing over reaching that goal. Then imagine where your spiritual life would be and those around you would be if you spent just a fraction of that amount of tenacity, that work, that planning, that training to learn ways to share your Catholic faith with others in your daily life. Now, of course, we all have to work hard to make a living, to buy things we need, to put a roof over our heads. And there's nothing wrong with hobbies and sports and secular activities if we remember to do all those things in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Because if we bring God into all those activities, we make sure that those activities don't become more important to us than our relationship with God. And in doing so, those activities become opportunities to preach the gospel through everything we do and to everyone we meet by word and in deed, to share our faith in God with them. And woe to us if we do not drive our bodies and train our minds and our hearts to fulfill our Christian obligation to evangelize and use our God-given talents for the building up of God's kingdom instead of our own. We must know that sharing Christ with others is not an optional thing for us. We can either do it out of our obligation to love one another as disciples of Jesus Christ, or we can do it out of the hope of receiving an imperishable crown of glory in heaven as good stewards of God's gifts, or we can do it out of fear of being disqualified, so we avoid caring more about succeeding in this world for our own glory any other reason that you can think of to share with others the love of Christ, so that at least some of them, some of those people we might meet within our lives may be saved. Because if we do everything in our lives for the sake of the gospel, then we too may share in it.